we did a little thing where we put out a poll and said, hey, does anybody have any questions? And the fun thing is they all came in and they were all really for Carly. So I figured I would hijack this and become the interviewer. So we're going to go. Hey, first off, I want to say thank you guys for being here for the event. This has been amazing. Thank you guys for being here. And it sounds like some of you guys took the challenge to meet each other and get to know each other. Sounds like you've had some special times, so hope it was awesome. Okay, Carly, Brannon.
We'll keep this short.
Back in no, I'm just kidding. Our first question is from Melanie. She asked, what did you do before you started CJLA, and what inspired you to pursue your dream of opening your own clothing line?
I actually didn't review these questions, so this will be really organically answered, because that's how I roll. So these are not prepared, but I'll try to keep it fast. I love clothing. I feel like as a little kiddo, I was telling someone a story the other day. My grandma would drop me off at the thrift store in her neighborhood, and we'd go on Wednesdays. It was like senior day, so we'd get like 50% off. All about a deal. You guys know, love those codes. I love codes too. So she'd drop me off and I would like hunt. I had one grandma that had amazing style and knew designer brands and cool things and just was really classy and cool. And then one grandma who was like the hunter grandma. So I think the combination of both of those grandmas kind of created who I am. And I love and appreciate special, unique things. And I love a hunt. And so I feel like that's what kind of CJLA has become. But I worked retail as soon as I could get a job. I now, which is crazy, I feel like I'm 23, but I somehow have a 15-year-old, almost 16-year-old. I don't know how the math on that happens, but yeah, I loved hunting. I love clothing, and all that to say, I worked retail since I was like 15. So I got a job, worked at a little boutique of high-end stuff that I like could not even, buy. I think like a pant leg at the store. But it was great because it taught me about quality, it taught me about design, it taught me about detail, and I learned a ton. I learned, I think, kind of how to run a small business watching the gal run her little shop, and it was fun to watch and see and do. And then a couple years later, I actually worked for Lucky Brand, the brand Lucky Brand, when it was privately owned before it was sold to a big brand. And I kind of watched Jean and Barry, the owners of Lucky Brand at the time, build this brand, and I feel like I just learned a ton. And maybe that's where the denim love came from. I don't know. I folded jeans for years. And I think I learned a lot about denim working for them. I worked for them for about 3.5 years. And that was all through high school. So I worked up until, all those years. And then when I was 19, I opened a little brick and mortar store of like resale stuff because I literally had nothing to start with. So what do you do when you have nothing? You sell everything in your closet, which is how it started. And we started with just little small runs of stuff, and it kind of grew from there. So I could talk all night on that, but that I think answers it. Does it?
I like it. What made you excited to do clothing? What was the thing about clothing? You said it was fun for you from the beginning, but what was the thing about clothing that made you say, and you still are excited by it? What is it?
I am. I don't know. I think I love how you feel in clothing. I think I see something. Obviously, clothing is clothing, and people are people. It's not. Clothing might not be powerful. People are powerful, but I think just seeing what clothing can do and just how someone feels in clothing. I think I love that in retail. Watching how someone would come in, not maybe feeling great, or oh my pants don't fit, or oh I hate what I have, or I hate my closet, and then just being able to help someone find things that did work and did like helping them solve their problems of like how to feel good in what you have. I think that was just so fun, and I feel like that's also part of what we get to do today in a different way, shape, and form, but just helping people feel comfortable in their own skin right where they are through clothing is really fun.
I like it. I have to say, I got to go to the brick and mortar shop, and man, she was a babe, and but it was so fun getting to see how she helped people put things together. Our team hears these stories way too often, but just getting to see how Carly would connect people, and somebody would come in for a T-shirt or some one random thing, but she just cared for them so deeply. Oh, let me get you this. This would go really well for this. And oh, what's your event? Tell me what you're doing. And she'd go, oh, let me go get this for you. And the person would leave so grateful that they got to spend some time with Carly because she put this outfit together and made them feel like $1 million. And I think we've done hopefully a good job of trying to figure out how to do that online. And I think you being able to show how special that is has continued to make that awesome. Okay, next question comes from Desiree. She asked, what made you decide to close your brick and mortar store and go online?
I kind of feel like you should answer that one. I guess in a nutshell, it was a really busy season of life. Chad was doing a ton of voiceover work at the time. He's a voiceover actor and on-camera actor, and just work was really busy, I think, for him. And I had one little one and a little one on the way. It was just a busy season. We're also super involved. We were in high school ministry at the time and like serving high school students, and we just had a lot going on. And I think Chad was like, okay, this is a lot. Like, we both don't need to run around like chickens with our heads cut off, so maybe we simplify. And I remember him saying, you can always go back to this. Like, this is probably a season that it might just be too much to do right now, but like, you can always go back. And I remember thinking like, really? Like, I feel like we shut this down, this thing is gonna be done. Like, it's just, this is the time. It was 2008, and we were like crushing it. It was busy, and I was like, we can't shut this down. It's never gonna happen again. And I think it's funny how the Lord works, because I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's 10 million times crazier and cooler and bigger than I think we ever thought it would be. And I'm so grateful to like kind of stop it in that season. I really loved being able to be at home with my littles in that time. I still love doing other things too. So Chad still probably was like, this girl's still going to do something whether she gets paid to or not. So I was doing like,
she did.
I was doing interiors on the side and making candles and doing a blog. And I would do it anyway. Like, I would do this anyway. So Chad's like, just make it a job. But because it's fun, it's creative. So no matter what, I love doing something. But I'm really glad that we did take that time, that break. And it's really cool to see. I think going online was the biggest gift and the biggest thing. And I never would have gone online on my own. So we can credit Chad for cjla probably being what it is today, because I was like, well, let's just open a little store, and Chad's like, let's not. So that was the one thing he was like, he always says I tell it like mean. I make him sound mean. He wasn't mean, but I was like, let's open
I'm
a
not
store.
the bad guy yet in the story. Let's see if this goes.
No, but he was like, if you're going to do it, you have to go online. Like, we got to open a store online. Like, you can't open a little store again. It's just not conducive for this season and whatever. And I was like, I don't even know my Facebook login. Like, how the heck am I gonna open an online store? Like, literally, like, I'm like, do I even have a computer? Like, I don't even do anything online. And he's like, this is how I gotta do it. So I'm very glad, even though I still, and a couple of y'all concur, I still would love to do brick and mortar someday. But I am very, very grateful to be online.
Yes, that's all good. The next question comes from, I think it's good. It's good, right? No, it was a total blessing, right? Wouldn't you say? Yeah, it was a total blessing.
Secret Shop Fridays might be coming.
Get ready. Okay, the next question comes from Trisha. She asked, what gave you the inspiration? Okay, hold on. This one's a little bit longer, but it's a good one. What?
Is that Trisha?
Oh, nice. Here we go. Okay. What gave you the inspiration? Tell me if I'm doing a good job. What gave you the inspiration to begin naming your pieces? Yours was the first shop I ever came across that did so, and it made each piece not only easy to find, but memorable, like an old friend. Did you name the pieces as far back as your brick and mortar days, or did it come about when you went back online? And do you remember the name of the very first piece that you ever sold?
Come on.
Trisha going deep. Okay, I don't think I remember the first name, so I'll go backwards on these. And I don't think I really named things back in my OG store days. I think things being named probably kind of happened from us being online. I felt like pieces needed to like kind of become people or come alive. Oh no, lies. I'm telling lies. What?
Started with the candle line. So it started with the candle line because, like she said, I couldn't stop her. And so in the meantime of the store not happening, those are quotes, she was doing a blog, and started a candle line. And on the candle line, we were trying to figure out how to name things, and the scents, we were like, well, what does this smell like? And it'd be like, ooh, this smells like Montecito.
Well done. I actually think that's probably,
there we go. Keep
yeah.
going.
I'll go with that. Yeah, I guess we
What I'm
could.
here for.
Yeah, maybe that was it. But yeah, we named, it was like, what does this smell like? Ooh, this smells like Ojai, Montecito, Santa Barbara. You know, all the fun places that we love, and things kind of came alive that way. But I do think it coming alive with names, and I still to this day, I mean, it's so fun. I don't name 100%. I was the OG namer, so everything had to be named by me. And then we kind of started to I was like, there's only so many hours in the day. I can't name every single thing that we do. So let's have team help with this. So, but one funny thing, one fun small world, I would name things off of people that I knew or loved, or experiences, or even maybe people I didn't even know, but I was like, that person might wear that. That would be this person. As I spill my water. But one fun thing, will you hold that for me actually for a second? Because I wipe my hand. The Revy shorts. The Revy shorts are named after my friend Kristen Wilson right there. Her daughter's name is Ravel. And we were like going through shorts, and I don't even know why. I was like, oh, these are cute little cutoffs. Revy was like a baby. And I'm like, Revy. They're the Revy shorts. And so still to this day, we have the Revy shorts, and those totally were like OG from Kristen. I can probably go around and think of friends and times and places and like most of the stuff. One funny story that was one that I didn't name, I passed this to someone who was helping, and I was like, hey, can you name, like, I have some jewelry. Can you just name some jewelry for me? And it happened to be these bangles, these bracelets that I loved. And I probably should have thought about that. Like, maybe don't pass it to someone if you love it that much and you have this connection. Just name it yourself. But I passed it to this gal and said, hey, name this for me. Name this stuff. And she named them the Fifi bangles. And I had no clue. No clue they were called the Fifi. They're still my like favorite bangles and bracelets. But I laughed to this day. I never would have named them the Fifi bangles. True story. I'm like, Fifi sounds like a poodle. Like, who thought of Fifi? But they now have like become the Fifi of like, now they're the Fifi. Of course they're the Fifi. But that is one that I didn't name that I still look back on and laugh. And I think we've sold thousands and thousands of Fifi bangles. And I'm like, who named these the Fifi bangles? So there's my Fifi story.
I like it.
I like it. Okay.
We can wrap it.
We can wrap it? Okay, whatever. Did the people want to wrap this? No, they're loving it. See?
What are they going to say? Yes, please.
Yes, this is terrible. Get me out of here. No. Okay. Our next question comes from Kelly. She asked, can you share with us, this is going to take it,
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what these are. I'm like, what am I going to say? Here we go.
it's taking it back a little bit,
Okay.
but you can settle in a little bit here for this one. Can you share with us about the early years when the kids were younger and you had dreams of building CJLA? Also, how do you keep your focus on raising your family and being committed to them wholeheartedly while wanting to pursue something for yourself? I did not write this.
It's like, do tell. Ooh, there's like a lot of things in that. I'm like, I want you to repeat the question, but you don't have to. I mean, I love my family. My first priority is my family, like before anything else. So I think the goal always, is it perfect? Probably no, but the goal would be that like it goes in that order. Like my husband, my home, my kids, like that's my number one. And so I think it always is a dance, you know, of like, ooh, that's probably too much here, or not enough here, or this needs to look like this. So I think the goal is that. I mean, I feel like that's my first and foremost, my calling is to be a wife, a mom, homemaker. And so I think when those things are in that order, it's the most fruitful of CJLA. I think I can watch that and see that. And I love my kiddos to death. I love being a mom. So I feel like one thing that we've kind of done is just like brought our kids into our world and what we do and make them a part of that as much as possible too. I like Chad said,
We have two boys working here today. How's it
somewhere.
forward or-
I probably should have my kids answer this. They're
Yeah,
like,
right.
let me tell you.
They're working.
They're working.
That's right.
But yeah, I think just like bringing like it is like it's a he's hiding. He's like, get me out of here. My mom is talking. No, but I just think like it is a family business in a sense. Like we do it impacts all of us, and so I think just seeing the sweet part of that is teaching our kids, I think, hard work, and there's so many just life lessons and skills that I hope our kids see in us doing what we do, and I hope they always know that they are number one and the main priority before anything else. Does that kind of answer that question?
Yeah. Maybe a little more about the early years when the kids were younger.
Yeah, when they were early, yeah, that was hard. I mean, honestly, like I was doing it with babies. I always just had kids with me. So I had to pack and play in the back of my shop. Like a dog there, a baby there. It was just kind of like, hey, all are welcome. And I had my kiddos with me. It was just kind of part of that. It's always, I think we've kind of viewed it as such too, like our kids being part of that. And always, I mean, there's seasons that our kids lived in a shipping and packing warehouse. Like our house was that. It was turned into that. So I look back and I'm like, should I be sad? Was that really bad? And then sometimes I'm like, well, hopefully it made them really resilient and really flexible. So hopefully it wasn't too long they lived in a shipping warehouse in our in our home. But my hope is they look back and see that hey, my mom and dad were hard workers. My mom and dad loved us, and we were the number one priority, and we got to be a part of it. So. Does that answer it? Littles? They were little. I mean, yeah, I didn't do it when they were little. I was like blogging, and we were going to the zoo, and I would like write a blog about it. I wasn't doing, and selling candles and like, doing random things. But I think it really ramped up once Navy was a little bit older, more 2-ish, 3-ish. So, yeah, they were little. We were just going on adventures, and CJ's fave spots was just like the zoo, the park. It's doing what I do with littles.
Yeah, I think anybody that started a business knows that the beginning are the hard years, right? That you really have to hustle and put every bit of your blood, sweat, and tears into it. And then it's because of those early years of working really hard that allow you maybe later to start working on bigger picture things that will hopefully allow it to sustain itself and grow. And I think that's the beginnings of where we're at, I would say now. So yeah, I think it's been awesome. Hudson, would you say so? He's like, I'm running. Please, Dad, stop. Okay, and Ford, are you here? I think he was in the back. I didn't see him.
Oh, Hudson's right there. I won't put you on the spot. Hudson's like, that's not where I want to be.
Okay, technically our last question is from Kim, although I do see one down here below. But our last question is from Kim, and Kim, are you here? No, okay.
It's an online.
It's an online. Did you ever think cjla would grow this big and reach so many girls outside of California?
No, I mean, yeah, it's crazy. I think we started cjla back up. So we had brick and mortar. We shut that down when our kids were little and took a break, and then came back to it a few years later, 6 years later. I mean, it was a while later. And yeah, it really was just a desire. Honestly, starting cjla online, I wanted to like open something because I couldn't find it. Like, I just remember going to like any store after having kids being like, I just want to find some cute jeans that fit me, and nothing feels like it fits, nothing feels good, and I go to like 18 places to try to find one thing. And I remember just feeling like, this is sucky. Like, this is so much work. This could be simplified for someone. And I just kept going back to like, I miss my store. I felt like it was all curated, all the things in one spot. It was just easy. This can be easy. Why is it so hard? And so I also just knew, man, if this would serve me, I know it would serve other gals and not just the season of life I was in, but anyone. Like, why you don't have to go to 18 places to find one good thing. What if you could go to one place and find all the things you need for your closet? Wouldn't that like simplify life and make things so much easier? So I think that was kind of the hope and the origin of kind of being like, oh, this would be I think this would be a need. This would be a solve for a lot. I know it would be a solve for me, so I'm sure it would be a solve for other women. So I think it kind of started there. Now I'm forgetting what the question was.
Yeah, I think that was it. Well, and I think also, even just the things that I saw as I got to interact with Carly in the early days of the brick and mortar shop, I saw how well she cared for people. And I think we were able to then say, how do we take that boutique experience of a one-on-one way to care for somebody and put things together? And then how do you take that into an online environment? And I think it was us trying to figure out how to do that. And hopefully, I think that's what has made our business be what it is because we actually care about you guys. And we care about you by name. Like, I literally used to pack and ship orders, and we'd be like, hey, Becky ordered. I'll pack Becky's. I know Becky. You know, like, Becky's literally sitting right there, and I literally used to pack her orders. I'm not joking. This is not a fake story. So this is the reality of it, is that we went, let's just care for people. And obviously, Carly has an amazing aesthetic and style, and all of those things are there. But how do we build a business on that? And I think it was by saying people first, obviously style first and all of those things that she just naturally is. But that was really what it was. And also in the beginning, I think the reason that we started it in our home and decided to do it online was because it was scalable, right? It was something where we went, hey, we can have little kids and I can have another career, but I can help you with all the things that you don't love to do or know how to do. And I can work on these things and I can build, help build the other parts of the business. And then if this thing blows up, man, we'll figure it out along the way. But, and it did. And we figured out it along the way. But I think it allowed us to do that from the beginning, was to go like, well, let's start shipping out of my office. Okay, now it's going to move to this room. Okay, now it's going to take over our house. Okay, now we got to buy, that's actually why we bought this house. We bought this house so that we could pack and ship out of it. But by the time the escrow closed on this house, we were packing and shipping too many orders to actually fit in this house. So then we had to go to a shipping warehouse. So just the business evolved that way, but it started by saying, we just want to be able to care for people. So yeah, I think that's it. Okay, last question. Oh, there we go, okay. Where do you see CJLA in 5 to 10 years?
5 to 10 years. Global. One word, global. Oh man, I don't know. I just think we have so many gals who have no clue that we exist, that are still out there that we can serve. And so I think when I look at the, grand, we travel and we go places and I'm like, oh, there's so many gals who don't know about this here. Like, how do we get this into more closets and more gals and more people? And so I think we're at a really sweet, fun spot. I think we're in a really cool groove of even like being able to produce now and make things, and I think like withstand more than maybe we could in the beginning. And I think we're ready for some fun growth. I think the biggest thing is just growing our audience, growing our customers, growing our people to be able to enjoy and use CJLA. And I think just more, continued things like this, like just more community in a lot of ways too. Continued like connection with our people. We love being online, but I'm like, we gotta be like together at a table. So this is sweet. I think more of this as well would be a really fun thing. We had an awesome trip. We went to Nashville a few weeks ago now. Yeah.
Who was there? Anybody there?
There was Nashville.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm like, there's someone from Nashville tonight too. Yes, you're Nashville. Yes, Nashville. But I think just being able to connect with gals all over has been really fun. So that doesn't really answer it, but growing. More CJLA girls.
I like it. And okay, and what do you guys want to see? What do you want to see in 5 to 10 years? A store? Okay, we have a very store-heavy audience. Jamie, are you influencing this table? What would y'all want to see from CJLA? Traveling pop-ups. Yes. I love this energy here. Let's go. Arizona, okay. What else? What would you guys like to see from CJLA in 5 to 10 years?
Lots of store. And
Okay, pop-ups,
Instagram
store.
can answer too, and we can look back later.
Yes. Instagram. If you have answers for us, bring it.
Let us know. Jenna can tell us what Instagram is saying too.
Oh, yeah,
They
true.
want a store.
Storefront in Nashville.
Storefront in Nashville.
In Nashville. I'm like, don't we need a Carly Jean Los Angeles first?
Yeah, LA. A store,
The Malibu one and Malibu Nashville.
pop-up, store. That's
Okay, I like it. I like the response. The responses are great. Do you have anything else you'd like to say?
No, I just thank y'all for being here. I'm so grateful for y'all. We always say we don't exist without this community. Like CJLA doesn't exist without y'all. So thank you for being here. Thanks for being a part of it. Thanks for enjoying it and wearing it and sharing about it. I mean, there's sometimes good things that you're like, I don't want to tell anyone about because I like it, and then we're gonna match, So I just have to say thank you for telling people, risking matching and telling people about CJLA. Like, I'm super grateful for that. I think of Jen B. Lee, that's what I call her. Jen, like, sending pictures, her husband would send pictures of, like, he's like, well, Jen's selling Carly Jean at Zara right now. And she'd be, like, in the store, and it'd be pictures of her, like, showing people the Instagram to go shop at CJLA. But I'm grateful for y'all who have just shared and told people and brought people into the community. And, yeah, we're nothing without y'all. So grateful for you guys.